Hey guys, welcome back to The Sports Entertainer. In this episode, we look at all the breaking wrestling news and rumors you definitely don't want to miss, with some of our top stories of the day being an ex-WWE star will never come back to WWE, some backstage news regarding an AEW star debuting in WWE, Roman Reigns has been spotted ahead of WWE return, and so much more. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss out on an episode. Chris Jericho on Becky Lynch signing with AEW. Now, although a lot of fans feel as though Becky Lynch will be returning to WWE in the future, the reality is that Becky's current contract with the company is set to expire in a matter of days, and Becky will officially become one of the biggest free agents in wrestling, as no new deal has reportedly been struck with WWE, so whether or not Becky does plan to return to WWE, at least wrestling fans can speculate and talk about things like Rebecca Quinn to AEW, regardless of how unlikely that is given the fact that she will no longer be under WWE contract at the beginning of June 2024. Becky's contract situation with WWE is not surprisingly one of the biggest stories in wrestling right now, and recently in an interview with TMZ Sports, AEW star Chris Jericho was asked about Becky's impending free agency, and Jericho gave his thoughts on the scenario of Becky walking away from WWE and jumping ship to AEW, saying, quote, "It's very important, because the best thing that ever happened to pro wrestling in the modern era was AEW existing. My dad played for the NHL for 10 years. He was playing for the New York Rangers in 1972 when Bobby Hull signed with the WHA, got $1 million to jump from the NHL, and what did that do? It raised everyone's salaries. He went from 35 grand to 135 grand just so they wouldn't go to the WHA. That's what happened when All Elite Wrestling started, when Chris Jericho signed there. Suddenly everybody was getting these huge raises in WWE to not come to AEW. Tony Khan, our owner, owns the Jaguars. They have a lot of money in the family, so he can play that game all day long. That's why we brought in Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, and Kazuchika Okada. You mentioned Becky Lynch. 5 years ago, Becky would have no other options. I'm not saying that she's coming, but there is an option, and who knows what could happen. No one thought that Jericho would come to AEW. No one thought that Moxley would come, or Bryan Danielson, or Adam Cole, or any of these guys that have come over. So it's exciting for the fans, and it's exciting for the wrestlers and the talent, because now suddenly if there's a bidding war, that just benefits us. So I think it's very important. That was one of the things of being in the Attitude Era in the Monday Night Wars with Nitro and Raw. You never knew who was going to show up. When somebody new would come from whatever side it was to the other, it made things so much more exciting. So many more matches that you can have. So many more possibilities of seeing guys go up against each other that you never thought about. So it's a really exciting time in wrestling, and that's another reason why. Now, Chris Jericho was asked if he potentially had any insider news regarding Becky's next move in wrestling, and Jericho responded with, quote, I just found out. You probably know more than I do. Once again, the speculation of it is the best part, and whether it happens or doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. The buzz about it is there, the possibility is there, and like I said, I think we've done a great job of bringing in some really huge names to our roster. Becky's current deal with WWE expires this Saturday on June 1st, and let's settle this once and for all. Do you guys think it's possible Becky could end up signing with AEW over working out a new WWE deal? Or is that scenario just too far-fetched to believe could actually happen? Let us know. Next up, Roman Reigns spotted training ahead of WWE return. Now it appears as though the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns is gearing up for his impending WWE return, so perhaps Reigns has been keeping up with SmackDown during his absence, and has grown tired of watching Solo Sikoa do whatever he wants as the substitute Tribal Chief of the Bloodline, including kicking out old members like Jimmy Uso, berating Paul Heyman, and introducing new members that clearly haven't been approved by Roman. Now, a social media post showing Roman Reigns training ahead of his WWE return sort of went under the radar, as bodybuilder Kai Green posted a clip from a little over a week ago of the Tribal Chief pumping iron and going harder than ever in the gym. Take a look at the footage. While Roman Reigns is definitely enjoying his time away from the ring, no doubt Roman's preparing to come back to WWE in better shape than ever, looking to reclaim his throne on SmackDown as the undisputed champion and the rightful Tribal Chief of the Bloodline. Let us know down in the comments section below if you have missed the presence of Roman Reigns over the past 2 odd months since his defeat at the hands of Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, and will you be happy when Roman's entrance music finally hits again on SmackDown, with Roman returning, looking to reclaim his throne? Next up, an ex-WWE star will never come back to WWE. Now, the game Triple H has been running things as the head of creative and chief content officer for about a year now, and by that we mean this is Triple H running things with no help or assistance from Vince McMahon, and while a bulk majority of the WWE fan base love the way Hunter has went about running the company, one former WWE star clearly isn't in any rush to return to the WWE led by Triple H, with former Intercontinental Champion Ryback speaking on his YouTube channel his issues with Triple H when it came to a legal battle between WWE and himself for the Ryback trademark, and that Hunter essentially refused to do the right thing and sit down with Ryback and acknowledge mistakes that were made, with the big guy saying, quote, "The new management would like to try to repair the relationship. They were going to give me the trademark when they realized I wasn't going to run out of money, and that they knew they got caught lying to the USPTO on multiple things. They knew I was going to end up winning the trademark in the end, and they did not want that to go public. I sent Hunter a long message and just told him exactly how I felt about everything, and I said, you have to be a man and be willing to sit down and acknowledge the past and the mistakes you guys made on things. I will never ever come back there unless you guys do the right thing." Clearly, Ryback doesn't have plans to be returning to WWE anytime soon, but let us know if you guys would even want to see Ryback return in the first place. Next up, some backstage news regarding an AEW star debuting in WWE. Last night, during the May 28th edition of NXT, former AEW star Ethan Page made his shocking debut on the brand by attacking the current NXT champion Trick Williams, and one source, Fightful Select, provided the following bit of news regarding Ethan Page's surprise WWE debut last night, reporting, quote, "Page's deal was finalized over the last week and had a secretive WWE Performance Center visit over the last week. Page is the promoter for Alpha 1. Though it's unsure what the future holds for that promotion. Sources we spoke to were immediately pleased with his debut, and main roster sources reached out to communicate their excitement about him joining. By all means, Ethan Page has a lot of potential to do some big things in WWE, and hopefully he will be given the opportunity to do so, and going after the NXT champion right off the bat is a good sign of things to come, as Page was never really utilized to his fullest potential during his time spent in AEW. Let us know your thoughts on Ethan Page's debut in NXT last night, and are you excited to see him in WWE? Next up, there will be more TNA-WWE crossovers in the future after NXT Battleground. Now, WWE certainly shocked fans last night during NXT, where fans were patiently waiting for answers regarding who would be challenging the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez at NXT Battleground for the title, with it being revealed that TNA Knockouts champion Jordynne Grace will be Roxanne Perez's challenger for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground, which is absolutely huge news, and this comes after Jordynne Grace impressed fans and WWE management alike with her previous WWE appearance during the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match, and no doubt WWE wanted to have her back, and she's back in a big way challenging Perez for the women's title. Now, apparently, the crossovers between WWE and TNA Wrestling will likely not just be confined to the upcoming NXT Battleground show, with Mike Johnson of PW Insider reporting, quote, "The word backstage at tonight's WWE NXT taping was that Jordynne Grace appearing on WWE NXT Battleground will not be the only WWE TNA collaboration in the days ahead. The belief among those we've spoken with is that there will be some sort of NXT representation on future TNA events and programming as well, although we haven't heard how much that could be and whether it could be anyone beyond Roxanne Perez. My guess is we'll see something at the TNA events in Chicago at either the Against All Odds PPV on 6/14 or the subsequent TV taping on 6/15 at Cicero Stadium, but obviously that's not confirmed. Since there are no other TNA events before that, it's a pretty easy line to draw, however. TNA champion Jordynne Grace will face NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez at the 6/9 WWE NXT Battleground PPV in Las Vegas. Stay tuned for what could happen beyond that. Let us know your thoughts on WWE's decision to bring TNA's Jordynne Grace back for a massive match against the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez for NXT Battleground next month. And do you look forward to seeing more crossovers between WWE and TNA occur in the future? Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.